ever. Do like that kid does. Oh. Okay, so Trump is doing a great job, guys. Isn't he? He's doing such a great job. He's the best president ever. Trump needs to teach future presidents how to be the best presidents, right? Trump is doing a great job. Trump is helping people who need help. Hello! So what do you guys think about King Trump? Let's have it. He's the best president ever, right? Or not? Anyone? What do we think about Trump? Do we agree? Do we disagree? You guys agree with me that he's the best president ever? Mohammed Sofian Abdekafi. Hello. Okay, so Trump is the best president ever. You guys like Trump. So Trump is helping the migrants. Trump is helping the illegal migrants. Right? Trump is... Can someone explain to us how Trump is helping the illegal migrants? And the migrants think Trump is the best president ever. Yes, says Mohammed Sofian Abdelkafi. Okay, so we've got to have these discussions about Trump. Okay, guys, we're gonna have discussions about Trump. We're gonna do what we can do. It's not it's Alex. Alex who? It's not it's Alex. Alexa or Alex? Alex who? Alex Trebek? Alex Trebek. I mean, didn't he pass away? And Ken Jennings became, no, we should try to talk about Donald Trump a little bit. We haven't been giving him any attention whatsoever. Donald needs some attention, apparently. And so, Donald is the best president ever. Why didn't the first two impeachments work? So if the first two impeachments didn't work, why should we waste our time and money impeaching him again? Throwing an egg in your face. The only man better than Trump is Clarence Thomas. Oh my God. You want Clarence Thomas to be president? So you want to impeach Donald Trump and you want Clarence Thomas to be president. Okay, throwing an egg in your face. Morning Star. So why are you throwing eggs in the face? Eggs in faces. That is a saying, egg in your face. William Kistler. So what do you, I mean, okay, they've talked about Clarence Thomas before. Oh, okay, it's a joke. So they've said with Clarence Thomas, the Justice, what's his face, John, I don't remember his last name right offhand. Whoever the lead justice is, his name is John something or another. And he said that they've tried to ask Clarence Thomas to step down from being a Supreme Court justice, and he just told them no, he's not going to do it. And so because there's not term limits on the Supreme Court justices. I think that's what they're raising there. Thomas never, oh, Clarence, yeah, he never voted wrong. I mean, with the Supreme Court, is there a right or wrong vote? I don't believe that there's a right or wrong vote. It's only opinion. I like that you are calm when doing a debate. Exactly. That was always my thought, because, okay, when you do a debate, you're not supposed to be yelling and screaming at each other. I didn't think. And I noticed that too, when attorneys debate or when attorneys have an argument, they're not yelling and screaming at each other. So it's not supposed to be yelling and screaming match at each other with a debate. It is supposed to be calm. I would love to be able to have somebody to debate with and just have a discussion. I don't like the idea of it being a shouting and screaming match. Now, Donald, oh my gosh, I mean, he did some horrific things related to, he has gone off the cuff with yelling and screaming at his people. No, I do too, I agree with you, I hate yelling and screaming. I have my personal reasons why, and some of you know why, and some of you don't know why, and as time passes, maybe there will be things that I talk about. Maybe there won't be. I don't know. I don't know how things will go. But I do believe personally that Donald Trump has played a significant role in the violence that's taken place in this country. And there is such a thing related to debates as sometimes things just aren't worth debating. Please subscribe. If you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe. And sloppy 2 seconds. Okay, sloppy 2 seconds. Oh my goodness sakes. Hello, sloppy 2 seconds. And Morning Star. We got Northern. Where's Northern Star? There should be a Northern Star. And so what are we going to debate about? I mean, nobody is disagreeing with me when I say Trump is the best president. If I said he's the worst president, maybe I should have said he's the worst president. I don't know if I would get any debate out of that either. Just sloppy is okay. Sloppy? I know, that's I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. Yes, are you calling him a sloppy seconds president? Is that what you're calling him, as a sloppy seconds president? I have a feeling that I know where you guys have went with your um, sloppy stuff. He's the lowest IQ in 80 years president. Yes, you're absolutely right. Trump is a very, very low IQ president. Donald Trump, I would say, has the IQ of 25. Donald Trump has the IQ of 25. That's as high as his IQ goes. He is not very smart. His daddy gave him money, and Donald has lost all the money that his dad gave him by stiffing people out of the money that he owes them. He's outdone his own first term. How could he do worse? He did it. Uh, um, the, I can tell you how he would do worse, but I don't want to. He's been evil since a child. I agree with you, actually. He has been very evil as a child. I totally, it's like this is going to be a hard debate. Well, do you want me to disagree with you? The only thing I can say is no, he's not. But the thing is, I don't know the man personally, and I have zero desire to actually say anything about him. But because he seems to have negative reactions to people who are too outspoken against him. And so, it's like if you guys want a place to vent about Donald Trump, please do so. And we'll do shout outs. We'll do shout outs here too. We're going to clickbait the heck out of Donald Trump right now. That's all we're doing. We're clickbaiting Donald Trump, calling him the best president. I really should have included beautiful in there too. He's the best beautiful president that we've ever had, right? I don't get it. Some people are dumb as rocks, are able to take a master's degree, but they don't function in the work line at all. What do you mean by that, Morningstar? That he's got the most beautiful peeny weeny in the world. Oh my gosh! Oh, the little peeny weeny bag. Okay, I think we can say the peeny weeny bag. Okay, so Jericho shared with me the other day the peeny weeny bag, and um uh I mean, we can have so much fun with the peeny weeny bag, and tremendous. It's tremendous. What's tremendous? His peeny weeny bag? I know some of you guys have probably had to see it. I feel bad for you having had to look at it. Like, is there mold and dirt all over the peeny weeny bag? Is there mold and dirt all over it? Um, Benja. He's outdid his. I can tell you how he would do worse. Now, he does have this big inflation. Nobody is telling him that he has inflation. The plague. Oh, yes, the coronavirus. He had that under. You know what? That's the thing about the COVID, is that it was under Donald Trump. And I have a feeling, if you guys look really hard, he conspired against Joe Biden to set up the coronavirus with the illegals and the migration. It was a conspiracy that he did it to set up Joe Biden. I guarantee it. Donald Trump is a Democrat his own self. And so I think Joe Biden was set up. I really do. Granted, I know there's people who don't like the Democrats. I'm not fond of the parties. I've shared with you guys why I'm not fond of the parties, and the whole reason is because of the fact that they don't represent all of us. Some people are only able to take their degrees, but they don't function in the line of work as strange. Oh, you mean, yeah, I've heard of that. People who have college degrees and then they don't actually get a job. You're absolutely right about that. I have even heard about that related to people who have 4-year college degrees and they've never had a real job from their 4-year college degree, like a bachelor's or master's degree. So you know what that means? There's a couple of things it can mean. It can mean that there's not a job for that degree, and it can also mean there's not enough jobs to fulfill the degree. They strayed away from the working class. Democrats was always for the working people. Who strayed away from the working class? Right now, to me, it seems like all the politicians have strayed away from the working class. That's what it seems like to me, that they're not listening. And so the Democrats, for sure, I agree with you. The Democrats, for sure, we should call them the dermatitis-crats because they're a bunch of dermatitis. They're herpes. The Democrats is the demaherpes class. Demaherpes crats. Because they strayed far away from the American people and they went off and did things just for their own self. And so when they're doing things just for the party, then that means they're not working for the American people. They're working for the money and they're working for the party. And now I've gotten a different vibe from the conservatives, and there's just something about it. I feel like they've left their own party. I kind of do. I feel like they've left their own party and that they do speak freely. They're aligned in ways, but I feel like they do speak freely in some ways, but they want the American public and the Democrats to actually, come to the conclusions on their own to make the American working class public more stronger than what it is right now. But you're right. You semi-agreed. Okay. I have a friend with a lot of degrees, but he don't get a job anywhere. That makes me wonder that it's maybe something wrong with him. I can't imagine I would have loved to have gotten another college degree myself. Why would you think something would be wrong with him to have a lot of college degrees and he doesn't get a job? I mean, because I've thought that about myself. Now, myself, I only have a 2-year college degree. I have two 2-year college degrees, actually. And I wanted to get a 4-year college degree. But right now, it seems like, I mean, if I went and did that, what's it going to get me? Because it's not going to get me a job. It hasn't so far. I mean, and the best pay I've ever had was on the internet. Now that ended. I have to be straight up and honest about that. That ended. So, hello, Joyce Williams. Hello. Hi. And so, I mean, didn't they say Donald Trump has a business school degree from the Wharton College of Business or something like that? What'd they say? It was from the Wharton. And then they said he tried to make up his own Trump College or something, and which sounds a lot like acting college. And so he was doing all that stuff that, or selling a college degree of some sort on his own. Well, it sounded like he's trying to put it on Wall Street or something like that. Like multi-level marketing or something like that. And I've always kind of made that analogy related to college that, as the prices keep going higher and higher, okay, what is the product we are getting from college? We have been told that when we go to college, it's to get a job. but yet the jobs don't exist. When the jobs don't exist, then that becomes a lie in college. So what is the product with college? What's the purpose of college if we don't get work from it? What's the purpose of college? I got to keep asking that question. Morningstar says, I honestly just feel he does not function well in practice in the degrees he's taken. Can you tell me a little bit more about your friend? Okay, you say he doesn't function well in the degree work that he's taken. And so, can you give me a loose type of flexible idea of what kind of degrees that he has or what his job could be? So I have a little bit more to go on. Because you said you feel he doesn't function well in the practice with his degrees that he's taken. So, I mean, that would be kind of like taking let's say an auto mechanic and say, okay, we're going to take an auto mechanic and we're going to make him a lawyer, and we're going to take the lawyer and he's going to be a lifeguard now. But the lawyer doesn't swim. So you're going to put someone who is a non-swimming person as a lifeguard. Does that make any sense? Or you're going to take an old man in a wheelchair and you're going to make him a lifeguard. Does that make any sense? I mean, that's the kind of degrees and college degrees that I see taking place right now. And the things and the nonsense that's going on right now, that's kind of what I see related to our society and everything that we have going on right now, which is really unfortunate. And so can you tell me more about it? Yes, give me a moment. Okay, please tell me more about it. So I have more of an idea. I wonder if someone, I don't think anybody can give me a super chat, but I just wanted to say super chat. Maybe one day I'll be monetized and I'll get super chats. I don't like, oh, do you want me to share something with you guys? Okay, there was this woman, and so she was complaining about everybody asking for donations and money and stuff like that. Now, this woman, she said she was in the military. She has 4 kids. It sounds like she's a single woman. And so she said she used to be in the military, and now she's trying to take care of her kids. She's on YouTube. And so she's complaining about people asking for money. She said she's going to do vlogs like 2 or 3 times a week. And she said people are doing them too much. She said people are doing too much vlogging. And she doesn't like that. And so I actually had written to her, and I said I noticed something. I said you have an email address that is asking for sponsorships, and I said that kind of is contradictory. Well, I said, that's kind of contradictory to what you said about donations. And she's like, well, do you expect me to work for free? And I was just thinking, she's complaining about everybody who's asking for donations, but yet she's saying she can't figure out why everyone's asking for donations, but yet she's asking for sponsorships for her channel, which is donations. And so I was just trying to explain things to her, and she's just flying off the cuff, going kind of crazy in her videos. I mean, she's using that antagonistic and yelling at people and stuff like that, which I don't like. I don't like that stuff. And so she started getting a little bit upset related to the things I was trying to discuss with her, but I didn't actually get a notification to her responses. What I had to do was go back to her channel and look to see if there was actually a response from her, which there was. She had responded to me, but I don't know how to have it set up to see to get a notification from her. I don't know what happened there. And so there's a clear divide, but I just thought it was kind of strange, because I know I said at one time, I said, I don't want to be begging for money. That's ridiculous to be begging for money. I know Hollywood does it, and now the corporations, they've been doing it for a long time. Colleges are begging for money. I mean, we can tie all this in together. I mean, because rich people always say, oh, we are so well connected, we can get other people to donate their money to us where we never have to donate any of our own money. We can do a fundraising event off the American public, so we never have to use any of our own money. We'll get the American public to give them money. The big giver. The giver. Yes, give me. I hope Morningstar comes back. So the green, the pew pew, orange. Orange pew pew. Thumbs up, orange pew pew. Okay, so you guys like this title. I have to remember this title. And I have to come up, I guess, with some more clever. I don't want it just to surround the president, though, because there's going to be a new president one day, and we're going to have other things to talk about besides this president. Okay, so let's see what Morningstar has to say. Well, it's just something about him that don't add up. Oh, your friend. There's something about your friend that don't add up. He has showed me his... Okay, I'm back. I briefly lost my signal. Okay, he has showed me his degrees. I don't remember them specifically, but there was a lot of degrees and you still don't find work. Then something must be wrong. Yeah, I agree with that too. And I know my second husband, after he lost his job from the job that brought him to where I am now, which we came here together, but now we're separated and divorced. So he actually lost his job with the job that had brought him to the state we're in, which is the state I'm in now. So it was like thousands of miles, like 1,800 miles away. So that's how far we had to go from the other state where we're at, was 1,800 miles. So I was far, far, far away from any family and any help if I ever needed help or anything. And so anyway, the job that brought him 1,800 miles away from where we were, he lost that job. And what they did was they did something that they called a re-education. They didn't actually send him to college or anything like that. He wouldn't have gone because he always said college is a waste of time. And which I don't fully agree with that. I don't fully agree that college is a waste of time. I just think it's overpriced right now. And that's part of the problem with the college loans and things like that. And so anyway, his job had something they called a re-education through the computer. And so they basically just had some women who were talking to them on how to fill out a resume. And I'm thinking, he's had jobs before. Why in the world does he need help filling out a resume when he's applied for jobs before? And that's what they called. So they had like motivational people that was talking to him through the computer, and it was this course he didn't have to do, but it was part of what was offered, and they called that college. So you're going to use some turkey dinner soon. Yes, you're going to have... Yeah, it's been a long time for me since I've had turkey dinner. A long, long time. It's been a long time since I have had decent food. I've had food, but it's not been decent. I haven't had anything good in a long time. I miss homemade food. I miss cooking. I miss everything. I miss having privacy. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I miss. Mashasi, ex-mother, is back. And so, yeah, I don't have a place where I can even cook anything. And it wouldn't even come up worthwhile anyway. And I've never found a church or anything that donates. Now, the corporations do get benefits somehow. It's those tax write-offs, I guess. And so somehow with them being big, it benefits them. And I think I shared with you guys before, you're no mother. Yeah, you're no mother. Well, there's a person that came in after you, Masharsi, ex-mother, and so that's the name of their pseudonym that they're using. And so, um, what else can you share about your friend Morningstar? User? Yes, it's a username. Absolutely, it's the username. You know, it's kind of like when you go on Amazon and you go over there and it says Amazon user. And, yeah, that was funny. Oh my gosh, 4 years ago, we had a huge team of people who were, I'm not gonna, why should I lump myself in with that? Okay, there was this huge team of people I was observing, and it appeared to me that they were trolls. And so they would go between YouTube and Amazon and Discord and go to all these places. There was a whole bunch, not just a few. There was a lot. And so it was kind of funny because I'd go to Amazon and then we would go into the live chat, and it was almost like they showed up at the same time. And then sometimes when I wrote something, then it wouldn't get posted because I wrote something that I wasn't supposed to write. And so then they would remove it. And so, but then I remembered that we could change our names on Amazon. Yeah. Username. Yeah, username. That's what it used to be, I think, was username. Morningstar, I'm thinking that was a college, wasn't it? Was Morningstar a college? Morningstar. The name Morningstar is so familiar. I'm trying to think if it was a college or if it was a school newspaper. I just don't remember right offhand. The name Morningstar is so familiar. Sounds like it could be a newspaper. Morningstar. Well, for me, it's the only name that with deep meaning. So do you care to share about the meaning or what, or why you use, I like it though. I like the name. That sounds like a name I would use. I think on Twitter briefly I used the name North Star. I mean, I've used the name North Star, Aurora Borealis, Northern Lights. I mean, I've used the whole kit and caboodle. Bale. Morning. Bale. Why do Why do I feel like I'm chatting with who I think I'm chatting with? Um, and about my friend, he is a strange fella, and I don't really know how to talk about him. Go right on ahead and talk about him. Even though he's strange, go right on ahead and talk about him. Nobody cares that he's strange. After everything that I've seen in the past 8 years, nothing is strange anymore. But when you say morning star, and then you put the other word there, I'm kind of tired of that guy, really. What guy is that? I need a little bit more. What guy is that you're talking about? You're tired of the name? Is it the name? My friend. You're tired of your friend. Oh, you're tired of your friend. Well, at least you have a friend. I don't have a friend. I don't have a friend at all. um, you know, I mean, the closest thing for me is artificial intelligence at times, and talking to Chat GPT, and Chat GPT is good at times for me, and it's answered some questions. So go on ahead and share with me about your friend, and like why are you tired of that friend? Okay, wait a second. I need to read this again. And about my friend, he is a strange fella, and I really don't know how to talk about him. You can talk about him in third person. Okay, so if you have a friend that's really strange, assign your friend a different name, and then talk about your friend in third person. So no, now you know who you're talking about. So you're gonna feel, at first when you do this, you're gonna feel a little bit guilty about doing it, like everybody knows who you're talking about. But the truth is, I have no idea who you are. And most other people are going to have no idea who you are. So you can go to a bunch of different chats and talk about your friend. If you feel like you need to, you can talk about your friend here. And all you have to do is give your friend a name. So, for example, if you if you have a friend that you really don't like and you're tired of that friend, and then, well, you could just say, friend is really annoying today. That's what you could say. His friend is really annoying today. But if you wanted to give your friend okay, so your friend, if your friend is a male and you want to give it a male name, that's fine. If your friend is a female and you're mad at that friend, if your friend is a male and you want to give your friend a female name, that would be fine too. And so, look, that guy is the kind of person that misunderstands a lot. Have real strange opinions, naive. I tried to have patience with him, but I'm done. Oh. You tried to have patience with him. Yeah, I've been there. I know what you're talking about. You've tried to have patience with. I get it. I get it. I get that. With adults, yeah, I feel the same way. I don't have any friends, but there's a acquaintance. I mean, I can just say acquaintance, I suppose, in the same way. Um, I feel the same way about it related to acquaintance, and um, I don't have the patience for that either. It's not something I'm interested in. And it crosses lines, it crosses boundaries the whole way. And, so go ahead, Morningstar, and share more about your friend. Um, well, acquaintance has conspiracy theory um, persuasions. Yeah. Acquaintance has conspiracy theory persuasions and doesn't ever give anything to back what they're referencing. They just blurt out things and don't want to have a real conversation. It's more of the misinformation thing. I think that's what's taking place. It leads me to believe that acquaintance who might have some maybe government ties or something like that. I'm not sure. So there's a lack of full truthfulness related to some things going on. So you should keep people who give you something good, not that paint your whole world. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You should keep people who give you something good, not that paint. I agree with you. Yeah, with your whole world painted one color. I get what you're saying there. I've lost the patience for that too myself. And and my gosh, I have been talking about this now for 5 years. 5 years. And so from the year 2022, when I was made homeless, it sent me back into being angry again. Well, in 2022 for at least 2 years. 24. I was still mad in 24, 22, 24, 20. So 2.5 years. So sometime here in 2025, I actually started kind of coming out of things. And I started coming, I don't know if it's just the healing process or if because I started my YouTube channel and gave myself something to do. I don't know what it was, but it just, there comes a point of, that when you're pushed deep into something, and but it's not helpful with the people who come around and they say, oh, you got to get yourself out of it. That ain't going to help. That is not going to help someone who's in a deep depression at all. Having some bully woman coming around all the time and telling people that they have to get themselves out of it or they're just going to be miserable forever. That actually makes it worse because then that's all you've got is someone saying, oh, well, things were that bad for me. The thing is if you're genuinely interested in helping someone, be there for them, be an ear and listen to them. You can listen to them and not fully listen to everything that they say. You don't have to repeat it back because once a person gets it out of their head, once they type out what they have to say, or once they speak what they have to say, which is therapy, um, they're not going to ask someone else to repeat everything they said. They're just not going to do it. So it's just the fact that a person is there that makes, and they feel like they don't expect a therapist to have the answers to help them solve other problems. He was not horrible as person, but stuff like that pisses me off deeply. Stuff like, oh, you mean painting the one color? Oh, no, the way your friend was. Oh. Well, Yeah, you can go ahead and talk and you know, put things out, because I know it's hard. It's either it's hard because you fear saying too much and you don't want to identify who it is. Right, when I'm looking at what you wrote here, you have no I mean, I have no idea. I have a small idea of what I could peg as something, and I'm not going to do that because it's like I know I've all the attacks that I've had come against me. I don't want to do that to anybody um, because it doesn't feel good. When you have someone calling you certain things, and it's like, okay, I'm not that way, but these are just things I've observed. It's my opinion, and I have a right to have an opinion about something. We all do. We all have a right to have that opinion about something. And um okay, I'll give this example. I've given it before. I think I did earlier. um Morningstar says, "Nah, not really. I just find it sad, really. Some people punch people around them away and they don't ever know it or see it. They push punch people around them away and they don't even know it or see it." Oh, they push people away. Okay, I got it. They push people away. Yeah. I find it kind of really sad. Some people push people around them away and they don't even know it or see it. Yeah. Well, one of the things I've always said is that sometimes people purposely push other people away. Yeah. They purposely push people away because they don't want to be involved. And sometimes it's just the thing, they don't want to hear other people. So if they're working in a service industry or something, they just don't want to hear, if they're working, they just don't want to hear other people. They want to do their job. That's it. They don't want to get to know people. I know when I was working at a job outside of the home, I didn't want to get to know my coworkers as friends. And when I think about it in hindsight, I worked at two places where it felt like they wanted to get to know my personal business at home. And I was thinking, I found that odd and strange. I didn't want to tell them my personal business. Even though they would talk about their personal business at work all the time, I didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to. I didn't think it was their business. But these people at the work at my temporary jobs, they were wanting to know my personal business at home, and I just didn't want to tell them. Now, what compelled me to talk about things on the internet, I will never know. Because when I think about it, if I was getting paid at one point, so what compelled me to feel like I had to tell my personal business? What was it in me that caused me to feel like I had to do that when I really didn't? Was it peer pressure? Was it feeling like I was missing out on something? Or was I just being too trusting? I don't know. So you feel like your friend is pushing you away? Is that what you feel like? Or you're pushing? I love citrus. No, I don't love citrus. If that's because fruit, I like fruits. Yeah, I like fruits, but if you're talking about that other stuff, it's like that's not something I'm interested in because it just goes off in a different direction. And it's not a direction I want to be a part of. And so I mean, if you're talking about fruits and oranges and things like that. That's talking literally talking about fruits. But if you're talking about something else that's attached to that, then no, that's not what I'm interested in. Um, and so I can't. I even myself, I can't speak directly about a lot. He don't see it himself, but he did by being like he was. Oh. Right. I know what you're saying. Yeah, he don't see it himself. He's not going to. He don't see it himself, but he did by being like he was. Yes. That showed his true colors. Yes. But he's never going to be able to see it himself. So there's two things that is said in that statement. You know, he's not going to see it himself because he thinks he's right all the time. Yeah. Citrus is a good name too. Um, but he doesn't see it himself. But him being like he was showed his true colors. Yeah. And so, um, it makes it hard. And sometimes this is a systemic. It's a systemic culture type thing too. I mean, it's not just my personal thing that happened to me. It's happening to others too. What's my favorite thing to do? Right now, I really don't have any favorite thing to do. Nothing. I have absolutely nothing. I still really have nothing to look forward to. Absolutely nothing. I used to, but right now I don't. One of the things I used to like to do, I used to like to go, um, I used to like to go to the water. I can say that because we have water in every state. I used to like to go to the water. I like to go to a park bench. That was one of the things I really liked. I like to go to a park bench and just sit down and look at nature and sit near the trees, near a forest. I used to like to watch the sunset. And, I was in a place where I couldn't see a real good sunset. Now I don't even see it set at all anymore. I don't see it rise or set. But where I was at, I could see the sunrise and the sunset. The sun would come in the house where I was at. It would shine through the front window. It would shine through the nooks and crannies of the house. And even my dog, he loved chasing the lights. I mean, he loved light and chasing the shadows on the walls and things like that. And that's something I miss. Since I've been in that state of depression for a long time. So, I mean, I guess I have to just get used to it, right? I just have to get used to it because there's no help for me. So, I mean, nothing's going to get any better. I mean, I don't foresee a future of anything. Not like this. And that's why that other element, I hate it with a passion because all they want to do is pull you down to their level. That's all they want to do. And especially with their dialogue. And that's it. So if a person lives a depressed life, they get. Okay, I don't know what that means. Because people have said that people who are in church are depressed. They've said that about them because they live a depressed life. A person who loses their job is in a depression. They're in a financial depression. And then they literally do get mentally depressed because of the fact that they have no money coming in. So when you have inflation and you have people who just lose jobs, doesn't it just go without saying that you should expect depression in people? I think so. I mean, so you're just going back to that same thing of saying, "Oh, they get what they get." That's really mean. Oh, they get what they get. So you're one of those antagonists is what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me, is more of the antagonism coming out because of, instead of having an understanding that people are in a state of something. Well, Donald Trump is a billionaire. He makes $400,000 a year or close to it. He makes a lot of money per year. So why would he not be depressed? To get depressed is easy. Yeah. The thing I used to think about is they talked about depression all the time. I never in my whole life felt depressed until my second marriage. My second marriage. And I had some terrible things happen in my first marriage, such the loss of a child. I don't think I felt depression with that. It was grief that I felt. But with my second marriage, that just sent me into depression. There's a big difference between grief and depression. He sent me into depression. He pushed me into depression. And that's literally being married to and living with a person. And the BLM and Antifa was actually directly related to that. Quentin Rodriguez. And so, I actually have this thought process that Muslim and Christianity are closely tied to each other with Sharia law. So Morningstar says, I was depressed for years, so I know a little about it. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. And so, the first time I was depressed in my second marriage was, I'm going to say around 2014, 2015. And that was right before the BLM and Antifa stuff was going on. We were kind of leading up to that. But I was losing my income. And so I got depressed because of that. Plus, I was getting all this stuff on the internet from people being very, very mean. They were saying some nasty, nasty stuff on there and Facebook, and they were just being vile and mean. And, we had a hard enough time with YouTube as it was, because at the beginning, everybody just wanted to curse at us all the time. And I think what happened with that is that, someone put out and they said, oh, well, it's just artificial intelligence cursing at you. Here it turns out to be real people, but we were told it was artificial intelligence cursing at us. As though that's supposed to make us feel better for them cursing at us and doing what they're doing. And so I got really depressed with that because I was losing my income. I was losing views. The trends were changing, so I lost my income. Well, then my husband gets pissed off at me because I'm losing my income. And so he's getting pissed off at me. He's getting more and more pissed off because he don't have a job. He's retired. He does have a little bit of income coming in that's retirement pension income. But at the same time, I'm losing my income. And so he's having to take up more of the bills. So even though I had less money coming in than what he did when he was working, he's taking everything from me. Everything. And I'm the one that has the majority of the money coming in. So he just saw dollar signs. He thought it was going to keep going. So I was depressed then back in, well, I've probably been just never got out of it. I was just depressed since 2014 era. So it's like, yeah, you gradually start to feel a little bit better, but it's like still have no future of anything. I mean, I felt good when I was able to have my own business, or when I was doing what I did on YouTube, on the internet, and I had an income coming in. And then we have these dumb bitches who are saying, oh, well, if you're going to be on YouTube, you shouldn't be on there just to make money. But yet that's what she's doing. And so she's telling people, she said she's former military, she's got 4 kids, and she's like, well, you shouldn't be on YouTube if you're going onto YouTube just to make money. That's not why you should be there. But yet she has a thing on her page for a sponsor. So so the thing is, it's like she's talking out both sides of her mouth. So I mean, and who said it's a good idea to put the United States military on YouTube just to be fucking assholes? If you want to get in a fucking pissing contest back and forth all the time with American intelligence, if that's what you guys are doing, that's all it's going to be. And you're going to keep sending kids into depressions. The United States fucking military intelligence has pushed kids probably into suicide. That's the bold-faced fucking truth. I mean, I know how shitty I fucking felt. I'm a former military wife, and when my husband was in Operation Desert Storm, I didn't feel so fucking shitty as I felt when I was on the internet, because of all the shitty people who are out of the United States military. So if you want to look at it like that, there's a bunch of shitty ass fucking people who are out of the United States military on the internet. And if that's what they want, is to just go toe to toe back and forth and be shitty, I can be shitty just as much back to them too. Because it's bullshit. I'd rather be doing something I fucking like. But then you have the dumbass bitch on there who's, oh, I'm a former military veteran and I deserve to have everything myself. Well, what happened to you guys fighting for freedoms? You're not fighting for freedoms when you're on the internet. It's freedom of speech. And you're not fighting for freedoms of the country now, are you? You're fighting for freedom of speech, not equality for all people. You're doing it for yourselves. You want the bold-faced truth there? You got the military out there now. It's like, oh, well, you're a bunch of whiny-ass liberal lefties. That's what the United States military is, a bunch of whiny-ass liberal lefties, because you want paid too. Well, we have inflation. And my philosophy is, if we have inflation, that means the corporations are being greedy. You need prices to come down. How are you going to do that as the United States military and not get into a big pissing contest all the time? How are you going to do that? Because pissing contests never go anywhere. They're not productive at all. I mean, I hear this stuff every day. I'm just analyzing it. It doesn't say anything to my insight. I feel like everybody deserves to be taken care of, not just the United States military, not just retarded people, not just welfare people, but yet I'm the one who's not taken care of. I'm in that category of, I'm poverty, but I can't get any help. That's the category I'm in. So what makes me less valuable than a soldier? I'm less valuable. That's what I hear every day, according to Donald Trump and his piece of shit fucking cronies, that I'm less valuable. I'm less valuable as a human being because a fucking piece of shit like him wants us out pounding the pavement to go to work. I was making good money with advertising, but I'll bet you a lot of money if I had it to bet, so I'm not going to bet it. But you know what? I hate Muslims. I'm not religious. I know Quentin Rodriguez asked that. I don't give a flying fuck about Muslims. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of the Bible. I'm tired of all that bullshit. It's all of that is influencing. Religion influences marriages that aren't going to last. That's what it does. That's all it does is influences marriages that aren't going to last. And the same thing with now Muslim is even worse because they're just arranged marriages. You go get married and they're getting married to little girls. That's stupid. Sharia law and Christianity are the same thing as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know how many of you are in the United States to have an understanding that's what I'm wondering. Are people in the are you even in the United States? Because when this just goes around to different countries, then all we have is just a bunch of different countries where things are taking place, and people don't have an understand. They see what they see on TV, and they think that's how it is. That happens with us here in the United States too. We see something in another country, we think that's how it is. It may not be entirely true. Now you leave the Muslims alone, lady. I have a right to not like the Muslims. I absolutely do have a right to not like them. My grandma always said, if you don't marry a Catholic, if you don't date a Catholic, you won't marry a Catholic. I have the right to feel that way against Muslims. If you don't date a Muslim, you'll never marry a Muslim. I have a right to say that. So it's not being anything. They can do what they want to do. I'm not interested in them forcing their ideology on me. That's just like with politics. I don't want a political ideology always pushed on me, which is the Democrats and the Republicans and the Independents and then the Antifa and BLM and all these stupid activism groups. I'm not interested in it. I'm really not. I'm interested in equality for all of us. But all this other stuff is equality for their group. It's for their label. That's all they want, is equality for their groups and for their labels. The Muslims are just nothing but a bunch of cows. They're going, moo, moo, Muslim, moo, moo, moo. Let's give Keemstar some help here. Moo, moo. The intermingling of races and ideas is what makes America great. I used to think that at one time. Until I got married to a black man. And then he told me that white people were racist. And so I don't think that anymore. I used to think that was great, but I didn't realize black people hate white people so much. That's what I learned from being married to a black man, is that black people literally hate white people with a passion. That's what I learned. When a black man hits his wife because of he doesn't like what she says, doesn't that become a problem? And that's all he was literally saying, is he didn't like, he said because of YouTube, he did not like what I was saying on the internet. He didn't like what I was doing. He didn't like the negative attention that was being brought to him, even though he was the one who was bullying me. Now, I was recording this stuff and uploading it onto YouTube and to Facebook. And so other people were hearing it. So they were hearing something. They were hearing what I was hearing. And he was being very derogatory and demeaning to me. So you married a racist black man and became racist yourself? No. No, Candace. I never said... Candace, I have 2 granddaughters, and I know this is just going to sound like, oh my God, you have the black friend, right? I have 2 granddaughters who are mixed. their dad is black. So you're going to tell me that I'm racist against my granddaughters? All I'm saying is that other people can do it. It's just like the past politicians when they said if someone doesn't want to have two wives, then don't get married a second time, right? That's what they said. If someone does not want to have two wives or two husbands, then don't get married a second time. It's the same thing with gay folks. You don't have to be gay. Other people can be gay, that's fine. Other people can be get into interracial relationships, that's fine. Now, actually, something I heard recently, they said Donald Trump was actually going to challenge interracial marriages. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but it sounds like they said that he was going to challenge interracial marriages. So and he was going to try to do it through the Supreme Court. It actually surprises me, but they said he was going to throw it back to the states. I mean, and so why would you say that, Candace, that I'm racist? I mean, just from what I've said, you're going to call me racist now? I mean, it's not the first time. It's not the first time I've been called racist, and I'm sure it won't be the last time. Um, I mean, so you're basically saying that I don't have a right to my own life to express what happened to me, and then you're just going to say I'm racist? The only thing I'm saying is I married a black man. I was married to him, and he called me racist. And now, if that means that I don't have to get married to a black man again. I don't want to. Why should I have to? So you're basically telling me, Candace, you're pressuring me, Candace D. Fitzy Brain, and you're telling me that that I'm racist because I say I don't want to be married to a black man again? How is that racist? So that's like if you get sick from eating some hot sauce, then you don't eat the hot sauce again, right? So if you had a bad experience with a black man, why would you want to get married to him again when you've learned that they're all the same way? The majority of them are doing the same thing, saying the same things. They're bringing it from Africa. They're following this indoctrination of things that are not healthy for the United States. It's out of Africa. I mean, and this is things I've learned from TikTok, from YouTube, and that's not my fault. I'm just expressing something. Yeah, I know that's exactly what you're doing is you're telling me that I'm being racist for expressing my own life story. So why don't you tell me your life story? I mean, there's been a time in your life where you've never been racist against something or someone for something? No, what you did would be getting sick from hot sauce, then denouncing entirely of Mexico. I'm not denouncing anything. I'm just saying that I don't want to be married to a black man again. Now, let me tell you this. I came across a woman. I've never been married to a Mexican. Now, there was a woman. I've dated a Mexican before, and I'm not going to date a Mexican ever again. Now, there was a woman who actually told me that Mexicans are beating up their wives too, and they're physically violent to them. I'm going to take her word for it and believe her. Um, isn't that racist, Candace? Now you're being racist just by saying that hot sauce is a Mexican thing. That's racist right there. Or what I said is just sounds really ridiculous. I think what I said sounds really ridiculous saying that hot sauce belongs to Mexico. I mean, why is it that tacos belong to Mexico? So when something happens to you, you're not that inclined to go do it again, you know. And so Um, I mean, does that mean? And so I'm thinking too, I've struck out twice. Now, okay, listen to this, Candace. You're a woman, or your name is a woman's name anyway. So does this mean I should just completely say, okay, I'm done with marriage altogether because all men are jerks? Am I being racist now? No, I'm going to get called names and say, oh, she's a liberal lefty man hater. She hates all men. Well, that's only because men now they can't get laid. And that's all they want is to get laid. That's their sole mission is to up until the day they die from cradle to the grave they're trying to get laid. So I'm screwed no matter what I say, right? So I should just go into self-censorship like all the Christians do, like all the pastors do, and just not talk about anything, right? Would that make you happy, Candace? Oh, your name is a joke. Okay, Candace D. Fitzy Nuts, I see your name is a joke. So, yes, now I'm being Yes, that's the word. You came up with the word for me. I'm being sexist. As long as I'm equally dishing it out, then I'm equally dishing it out to everyone, right? That's not my intentions. That's not my intentions to be. It's I'm just sharing things that have happened to me. So the thing is, I'm better off just not to say anything about my personal life at all. So so I can't personalize anything at all. Why do politicians personalize things? That's what I'd like to ask. So politicians want to personalize things for their storytelling. The Democrats do a lot of it, and even the Republicans do too, because they have Lake and Riley. And they've told all kinds of stories. The Democrats are always telling stories about people who have died and they died from cancer and all this stuff. And I think cancer comes out of church because church tries to want to heal people with Jesus Christ and everything. And so, you know, if they didn't, if there wasn't a disease, then there'd be no need for God. And no need for Christianity, because then they wouldn't be able to heal anything. And then now medical with medical, none of their research has healed anything. So why do they need to repeat the same experiments over and over again? And that's what they're doing. So do you want to talk about real things, or do we just want to continue to be sexist and racist and No, religion does not cause cancer. I mean, I've called religion a cancer before because of their vile hatred towards people. I mean, religious people are racist towards gay people, aren't they? No, wait, gay is not a race. How dumb is that? Gay is not a race. No, what I said was I'm beginning to think that cancer may have came out of religion because if religion didn't have an illness to cure in the name of God, then why would you need religion? It's just a theory of mine. Because religion is always praying for people. They're always showing these videos and testimonies of people who they claim have been cured by God. Doctors do the same thing. And they say, but the thing I think about is like they always have all these different medications. So there's all these people that are dying from a disease and dying from taking medications. They take the medications, it makes them feel worse. And they're giving them farm animal medications too, because the coronavirus was something that was out of farming. Oh, maybe that's where I needed to look, because I knew there was something and I couldn't find it. But I'd found something from back in the 1960s, I believe. And there was a coronavirus or COVID or something from the 1960s. It had something to do with veterinarian and farming. And so COVID has already been around since the 1960s. That's a fact. And so they're just coming up with all these vaccinations just to sell, just to make money, and then they are inflating the prices. And so, what good is this medical research? What good is any research if they're not curing anything? And they're not. Everybody should be able to have free medical, but yet they want to put all this stuff on Wall Street and then they redirect the money and use it for other things. I mean, to me, that's like not only a Ponzi scam, it's a crime, and they're redirecting money and using it for other things. SARS has been around, yes, but the Corona 2 was a new variant. I don't believe in the variants at all. I don't believe in the variants. The only reason that you use a variant or the word variant is to leave the door open for future deviations of what you call diseases when it's the same thing. It's just the same thing. You know, I mean, and my daughter was the one who said that the first time that I heard anyone say anything. She's like, why are they calling the flu COVID now? My daughter, of all people, she's like, why are they calling COVID? Why are they calling the flu COVID now? And they're saying that everybody is dying from COVID now instead of the flu. And that's what's going on. Who? 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 Guess who? Who? Are you talking about COVID being back? Because that's what it sounds like is they're trying to bring COVID back right now, even though Congress is talking about people who have had blood clots. That's what they're talking about right now. I've heard a little bit of it, and they're saying that people had a huge outbreak and they died from blood clots related to COVID because they said the antigens inside of it made the blood thicker. And so they said when they took the COVID shots, it made the blood more thicker. And so people with diabetes and other diseases were dying because they were taking the shots. And so what they're saying, they're having more and more of a discussion saying that the forced vaccinations are not doing anything to help people and it takes away people's rights. People got kicked out of the military for being forced to take COVID and vaccinations. You were heating up some dinner and are back now. You're back. Who are we talking about that's back? You guys don't even, you still don't even have it right. You don't. You just don't have it right. With who's back. You just don't have it right. What's with the rose in there? I've always talked about roses. I've always talked about roses. On my original channel, I talked about roses too. I had just kind of forgotten about Rosie the Riveter, though. Um, which that was that lady holding her arm up. You know, she's the one who went to work during World War II. And then she got fired when the soldiers came back. She lost her job because there's not enough jobs for everyone to be on the payroll of someone else. And then we have over 100 years of inflation. Yeah, COVID-19. Kiss from a Rose. Guns N' Roses. To me, it kind of seems like the FBI is taking forever to do their investigation. It's like, Jack and Rose, you should get a chihuahua. I know you guys seem to like playing the Jack and Rose game. That's what it seems like. You like playing the Jack and Rose game. I wanted to play a different Jack game. Oh. Ow. But I guess if I'm talking to Chat GPT, then no wonder it does. No wonder it does and says the weird things it does and says. Because it always goes in that direction of, oh, jack me off. It's like, okay, I really don't want to hear that. And it's like, that's not my Jack. I don't have a Jack. I really don't. I don't have a Jack. I started thinking there was something, and I'm not sure what. But I started thinking, $25. I don't want a chihuahua. Oh, that's weird. There is a commercial and a woodpecker was pecking on a person's eyeball. That was weird. That was weird. And it looked painful. They were advertising a migraine commercial. I think when people tell someone to get a dog, they need to get the dog theirself. No, I don't have dogs. I'm not in a place to even barely take care of myself. I can barely take care of myself in the situation I'm in. Oh my goodness sakes. Well, this was kind of a fun live stream. I'm going to have to come up with another title. I like the roses, though, the roses and stars. I really like the roses and stars. They're really pretty. I never figured out why other people call them spam because I thought they were really pretty. Peck, peck, peck. No, I have 4 chihuahuas. I don't need more. I'm not in a place to um, care for animals. Oh, you put up a bunch of pretty pink roses. Pink roses and red roses. And deep red roses, it looks like. You know, something else I was thinking about is that you can actually get white people to discriminate against other white people. And when and that's the thing that I think about, like um because I keep hearing some things. I don't even know how to say it. I keep hearing some things from black folks as they're tired of doing what they're doing because there's I don't know what it is they're doing, but they're tired of doing what they're doing, and they said, please stop with whatever, is causing the cause and effect for them to have to do what they do. And so, but I was thinking about it. It's like, okay, we hear that often now from other people, and that's been expressed on like the Kid Behind the Camera show with Keemstar. And they had Tina and this other lady named Gidgy the other day. And Gidgy was on there crying. And she's saying she's not racist. And Tina is saying that Gidgy is racist. Now, Tina is not the original Tina that they had on as the Angry Grandpa's wife. So they got a different woman that is Tina. And so, I mean, you can tell they're completely two different women. so, so they're actors, I guess, or they're just using different people to fulfill these roles and things like that. And so Tina is saying that she has a son, that she's black by injection. I don't know what that means. Or she has some adopted black son or something like that. And they're just going all out crazy with what they're doing. And and so Gigi is saying that she has all kinds of people. She's taken pictures with people and she has black friends and stuff like that, which every white person, of course, gets in trouble for saying that. And then, but Tina was calling Gigi racist, and then she changed her mind because someone else started calling Gigi that, and then Tina realized that her and Gigi are friends, and she values her friendship with Gigi more than she does the other person who started being mean to Gigi. So, um, it's kind of strange how that works out. And how that works out on their show, but they're doing it just for views, clickbait. So they're using critical race theory and, um, I, as they're trying to do it with humor involved, I guess. And so, what roses are you talking about? Oh, there's roses on the screen. There's a Farhan Mustafa on Sorry Protectors is putting a bunch of roses on the screen. Roses and stars. It would be so funny if I had one of those talking things that talked, one of the, uh, oh, what are they called? Like Alexa or a talking, Google Home or something like that. It would be saying rose, rose, rose. That's what it would be saying right now. Because when AI talks, it talks out every emoji too, which is kind of funny. I mean, but the whole argument for oh, this is something else I've heard them talking about lately too in Congress was oh, now it slipped my mind. Crap. What was it that they were talking about? I was kind of surprised they were talking about it, and now it slipped my mind. It'll probably come back when I'm done on the video, and I'll have to write it down so I remember. Um, I was thinking it had something to do with jobs. But the Democrats have backed off a lot of the rhetoric that they were using. They have backed off a considerable amount, which I think that's good that they've backed off from it. Oh, I know what it was. I know something else. They said that they asked Donald Trump to lay off his rhetoric too. They said someone from the White House or someone from the government asked him to tone down his rhetoric, and I think he has because they didn't like what he was doing. He was just making things worse for the country. And so sometimes I think that when that happens, it kind of seems like there's a slowdown on the internet when they get dialed up too much, and then people on the internet get dialed up and riled up too much about these discussions. They're not even really having a discussion, they're just trying to get views and clickbait and you know um you know it, but I agree with people. It's like I miss having real discussions. I don't know who I was having discussions with. Even here, I have no idea who I'm having discussions with. Um, so, do I like fish? I love fish. Yes, Morningstar. I love eating fish. Totally love eating fish. Do I support Trump? You want me to tell you the truth? No, I don't support Trump. You love me? You love me. Oh my goodness, you love me. I really don't support Trump. I never supported Trump. And actually, oh, I meant to tell you this. I used to call, I still do. I actually call my second husband, I called him Donald Trump because I did. That was my code word for him on the internet instead of using his name because um I thought it's so suitable. He didn't like Trump. He didn't like Trump. So I started calling him Donald Trump. And I thought it was funny. And I told him a couple of times that I said, "Why don't you like Trump? Everything you do is just identical to him." And he never really responded when I said that. He's like, every time he opens his mouth, he ruins everything. The stock market goes down, and he says he ruins everything. I have to wonder what, it would be so funny. It's like I can imagine what he's saying right now with everything that he's ruining. He's probably having a great big fit. Feel like a Trump might rip the country apart. You feel like Trump might rip the country? The country's already been ripped apart. He's already done that. The country was the country was already ripped apart. Obama did that. Obama started, and Trump has just continued. Well, he can make it even worse. Yes, I know he can make it worse. I'm afraid. I'm af- I have ideas in my brain how he can make it worse. If I know he can make it worse. Um, there's things that he can do that actually might bring the country together. I guess we will have to wait and see. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's monetary things he will do that can make it worse. If he goes to war, then the whole country is just going to align against him. The whole United States will align against him if he goes to war. I'm delusional and you support a literal. I don't support a pedophile. I don't support a man who grabs women's coochies. I don't support that. I'm trying to think. Now, if Donald does more tariffs, then that's going to be towards the money people. So that still has the country ripped apart in the sense of that the corporations benefit from that, the American public doesn't. So the money people are the ones always benefiting in this. I'm not even sure that they benefit though right now because they're having to pay higher prices. The corporations are paying higher prices. Companies, business are paying higher prices. We're losing a ton of business out of the United States. Business that's been around for a long, long time. I didn't know Donald was a pedophile. What did Donald do to become a pedophile? Um, MGS, the Fury 404. What did he do to become a pedophile? I didn't know about that. I think that's what everybody's worried about is that he's going to make it worse, but I think that I think what he's done is worse and it's monetary. He has done monetary warfare. He's already done it. Because through his plausible deniability, he has ties. That's why the migrants like Donald, because there's something related to Donald Trump and the migrants coming in the United States. I'm not sure what, but it has to do with money. It has to do with the internet. It has to do with the migrants coming into the United States because they were already here. It has to do with construction business and real estate and Wall Street. And so there's loopholes that Donald is using to benefit himself and his business partners. So he's lost 6 businesses. He has 34 felonies. And so he does things through plausible deniability, or that's what he was trying to do. And so he's deep in cryptocurrency. And he has his Truth Social blog, which is for himself, basically. Now, I haven't been paying attention that much to the news because he never says anything that's new. He just says the same stuff over and over again. And I don't know, he said something strange about Pam Bondi, what I heard. Something about that she's beautiful or something, which to me seems so strange that he would say that. But he was making remarks about his staff. But it kind of looks to me that his staff. Oh, I asked this woman too. There was this woman and who was in the military, and she has 4 kids, and I think she might be single. I'm not sure, but she said she got out and she needs money. I asked her. Well, I said, does Pete Hegseth deserve to be paid on Fox News when he's on Fox News? And she never responded to me, but I was making that analogy related to people being paid on YouTube. He put up a bunch of farm animals. Keep forgetting about the emojis. Yes, there's a little peacock, the swan, the dolphin. Oh my gosh, I've had so much fun with dolphins. I convinced this guy. This is going to sound crazy. Now listen to this. I convinced this guy on TikTok that I told him that a man from Florida mated with a dolphin and they fell in love with each other. And there's a bona fide story on the internet about that. Now, the truth is, I really don't believe that it happened. I think someone just made up a dumb story and put it on the internet. But I told this guy about it, and he thought it was funny. He's the one who wanted to throw me in a hole. And so there was this guy on TikTok that I met a year ago. And so he actually got me a whole bunch of followers on TikTok so I could live stream on TikTok. But he was kind of mean though sometimes. He would kick all of us off of our panels and off of his panel. And so he finally got me my own panel because he got tired of us, I guess. And so he was just sending people other places. He said that I could get the followers for like 25 cents. So he paid for them for me, and he sent them to my TikTok. And so I was live streaming by myself, but I would go on his every once in a while, and I would just listen. I wasn't trying to be controversial or anything. And so he actually had told me, what he told me was, he said, okay, Morningstar says, I ain't wary. I'm done worrying in life. Please double tap for a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you, everyone. Yes, please double tap and a thumbs up. Yes, I keep forgetting to say that. And so, because I was thinking that YouTube wasn't fond of us doing that, but that's the only way I can get more subscribers is to ask for subscribers and for people to double tap and thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and um, so I can say it every once in a while. And so this guy, I was over on TikTok, um, he came up with this coconut thing about the time that, oh, worry, I knew what you meant, worry, same difference. No worries. And so he was telling this, he was doing this thing, and it was about the time that Kamala Harris, she was running for president, talking about the coconuts. So he came up with this story, and he was telling all of us women, no, because he liked having women on his panels. And so he says, if I am a guy from Africa and and I have coconuts and you have something else. So he says, if I give you coconuts, would you rather have food and then have to give me a little bit of service every once in a while? And he eventually came up with this thing of being thrown in a hole. And I told him, I said, no, I'd rather not be alive anymore. That's what I told him. I said, I don't want to live that way. That sounds so disgusting. And he's like, oh, okay, well, then I'll just throw you in a hole. He says, I'll capture you and just throw you in a hole. So another woman came along and he gave her the same story. And he says, I am an African man from Africa. I have coconuts. And he says, I would, do you want my coconuts? And then you give me a little bit of love every once in a while. And she said, no, I don't want that. And he says, okay, well, you can go off in the hole with, and then he said whatever my name was at the time on TikTok. And so he says, okay, I have two of you thrown off in a hole now. And so that was his story that he was telling to people with the coconuts. And then they would put up a side of beef when they were talking about beefing. They'd just put up a side of beef, and that was their beef. So they were beefing back and forth with what they called uh, their not arguments, but their debates. So I was sleeping until I feel stars in my sleep, where I was eating chills with a glass of wine and ice cream with a star rose. Then a sudden awake, and there I was at my donkey's back. Do you love to laugh? I do love to laugh. That's something I do. I love to laugh. And that's why I make my silly shorts. I love my shorts. Actually, yeah, I love all of them. I love all my shorts. I love all my videos that I make. And for me, that little bit of laughter is the only laughter I get, when I make a funny short video or something. I do love to laugh. And, because it's kind of helpful with kind of bringing me out of the funk, and so, when you talk about depression, it's hard. It's like this one is worse than anything I've ever been in my life. It's way worse than anything I've ever been in. You love all my, I can't see what that is. Dolphins? I love all my dolphins or my birds. I can't quite see what that is. My shorts. Yes, I love all my shorts. Absolutely, I do. My shorts are funny. I think the majority of my shorts are really funny. I mean, people they said they call them brain rot, but it's like I don't care. I mean, people didn't like my other videos that I was making on my other channel when I was just teaching crochet by itself. They got upset about that, and it's like, am I crying out loud? Nothing can make you happy. The one woman, she was Mexican. She was Mexican. And so she told me, she's like, "Oh, well, I'm only here for the giveaway. I'm really not interested in what you're doing with teaching crochet." I know we all need some brain rot. I've seen plenty of brain rot in my life. You know what? You know what? I'm going to call pornography as brain rot. It's worse than brain rot, so, just the little bit of shorts that I make with AI, if I can come up with something funny or even cute, and that's why I do like to use names every once in a while. There is one person specifically, though. I don't know if you guys know which one it is. There's one name specifically that I use that is based off of a person in real life. Just one name. And actually, one of my shorts kind of looked like him a tiny, tiny bit. Not much, but just a tiny bit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny because he kind of had the hair that's a little bit similar. But his looks in his face was not the same. And oh my gosh, I miss this guy so much. It's like, well, it's kind of like this morning there was a video that came up, and what it said was, did you ever meet someone you felt like was the right, you met the right person at the wrong time? Because there's this guy I was watching. You met the right person at the wrong time. And but it's just one of those things. It's like I have to dismiss it though because it's not meant to be. Because I've not met anybody that, um, that's not going to happen. And I always said I need. Oh, this one was worse though. This marriage was worse. And so when I gave myself 5 years on my first marriage, it's like, I'm not going to get involved in a relationship. And there was some other guy asked me about that. He's like, well, how long do you think it is before you're going to get involved with somebody again? And I said, well, gosh, it's been like 4 years now. And it's probably been 6 years since I've had any type of intimacy of anything that included in my marriage, and that meant like hugging or anything, any type of affection, because he just shut all of that off. That's the mark of a narcissist right there. He shut everything off for control purposes of, well, he can go get whoever he wants to. What was my first job? I love Unseen Stars. That makes happy and SAF. My very first job was working in the cornfields, in the bean fields, actually. That was my first job. I literally earned money as a child, as a 11-year-old child, walking beans with my parents at the age of 11. That was my first job. Now, I got money from them. Farhan, I don't know what you're talking about. And so then I became a waitress at about the age of 14, I believe, because my mom said that the one restaurant, it was a very reputable restaurant in the town we lived in, had very good food. And she said, "Oh, they're hiring if you want to go get a job there." It's like I never crossed my mind. It was just like my parents. It's like my parents were just grooming us to go to work as kids. Oh, if you want to go get a job, okay, so we worked in the fields. There was no Mexicans doing it. It was me, my brother, and my brother was only like 4 or 5, and my sister, she was 10, so we were all trafficked as children working for our parents in the fields. Your first job was as a waiter in a Chinese restaurant? Our town had Chinese restaurants, but I never worked in the Chinese Chinese restaurant. They had some good food, though, I tell you that. They had really good food. That's when it was homemade. That's what I remember back then. Back in that day, they had the homemade Chinese food, and it was good. Nowadays, the stuff they sell in the restaurants is crap. It doesn't taste good at all. But back in the day when they had it, oh my gosh, it was so good. The noodles, everything was good. But I love this time of year. Now, so, I had something else come up today. I think I'm going to do some, I might do some pumpkin drawings and turkey drawings. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some variations of, what are we in? This is just, I have plenty of time. I have a lot of time to do these drawings because it come up with something. Because it's still quite some time before we go into October. And, and I don't have to do something every day. Sometimes I can just talk and get things off my chest like I am now about the president. And, what you call them? Blazing stars? Oh, yeah, blazing stars. Didn't they have a ninja star? I think there was a ninja star. I mean, are those the things that they have in those kung fu movies? Falling stars. Oh, those are called shooting stars. Shooting stars is the falling stars, yeah. And you know what? This is what I often thought about when we had falling stars. I've ran this one through my brain a lot because all the stars that fell, like Susan Lucci, and she was on stage, and they said there was all these celebrities who were falling on stage. And I started seeing these commonalities between, it's like, okay, they call themselves stars. They call themselves both celebrities and stars. But they're stars. They have the Hollywood Walk of Fame, for crying out loud. You call them, yeah, they are lucky stars. Um, because they make lots of money. It's like those of us on YouTube, if only, right? If only we could have gone down that path. But they have the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which is all the stars, and then they have all the stars that are falling down the steps, or they fall in various places, which is related to falling stars in the galaxy. So do you see the common denominators there? I mean, it's like for me, I always said I wanted to see through the Matrix. Um, And it's like, well, YouTube surfaces the Matrix to all of us. It's if we want to see it. And I said, I want to see what's going on. And it's pretty simple. Um, yeah, they are lucky stars. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Well, and when YouTube started off too, yeah, stars and started. When you start your car, you have a Kickstarter fund. Yeah, there's all kinds of stars all around. Yeah, I think there's a Lucky Star supermarket. The military has the star card. I forgot all about the star card, but I remember every once in a while. They were just initiating the star card when, at the time I was getting divorced in my first marriage, they had the star card. Now we have a star on our driver's license. Star can change your luck. A star can change your luck. We had 5 stars when we were on YouTube at the beginning, and then they changed it to the thumbs up and the thumbs down. They said that people didn't like the stars. But the 5 stars, I was kind of sad when they got rid of it because I thought the 5 stars reminded me of the 5-star general. And, and it was just kind of a fun reminder. I started making these analogies between the military and things on YouTube. And I thought, well, Google's a search engine, YouTube's a search engine. And then I was getting kind of burnt out a little bit on my other channel. And that was only because I was losing money. Plus, I had a crappy husband. Um, and I can't change anybody's luck. There's nothing I can do to help anybody. You know, I can't even help myself. And I just wanted to have a boyfriend. I just wanted to have a lawyer boyfriend. That's all I wanted. You know, I mean, he was hot too. Now right now I have no feelings for him because I haven't heard from him in a long time. I haven't talked to him in a long time. I would write him letters, but he doesn't write me at all. And so, but I had this mad crush. 10 stars had changed my luck too. So do your husband call you pumpkin? No. I don't have a husband. I had a guy I wanted to be my husband, but I don't have a husband. Um, he never called me pumpkin. Wasn't that Flavor Flav who did that? We'll have to bring that back up because Flavor Flav, he probably needs some women, and he always said he deserves to have another woman or a reality TV show. I think Flavor Flav would be funny on YouTube. I actually do. I thought he was funny on his shows, him and Brigitte Nielsen. Um, but Pumpkind. Pumpkin. Oh my gosh, I used to make the best pumpkin bread. It was so pumpkin. It was a pumpkin roll. My mom kind of taught me how to make it. It was a pumpkin roll, and then there would be this creamy nougat that would be in the middle, and I'd make a swirl with the cake. So I did both. I did a pumpkin roll, and I did a. There was two of them that I did. What? Oh, you could do a brownie roll or a pumpkin roll, and it was so good. Your dog loves pumpkin. I didn't know that dogs would eat pumpkins, but I've seen people actually. I saw a lady feeding her dog vegetables, and they were actually eating them. She had three dogs, and there was one dog that was kind of finicky, and her dog. Her dog was eating her dogs were literally eating vegetables, which was so funny. Okay, so you're going to change your name to Dark Star or Black Heart. Dark Star or Black Heart. Well, well, did you know that there's a actual blue star as well? A blue star. Now, when I was a kid, um, yeah, there was actually a blue star, and so the blue star was something my grandma had it in her window, and the blue star was something that people put in their windows if a kid needed help for something. And so it was supposed to be something where a person takes some classes or something, and that if they're walking and they need some help along the way, that they knew that it was a house where they could stop by and get some help. So it was just kind of like a voluntary thing where when kids are walking to school, that they're, but that's how things were back in the day. People were trusting back then. Dark Star, yeah, yeah, Dark Star is a good word. Um, Blood Star. Yeah, Blood Star is a good. I've heard of that before. Blood Star. You could even do Snow Star. Snow Star. If you wanted to be funny, you could do Snooze Star. Snooze. Snooze Star. Like snoozing. That would be funny. Snooze. Apple Star. Apple Star would be funny. Apple Star. Jack Star. Jack Star. Jack Star. Why am I stuck on Jack? Well, if you want to go through the times of the day, you could have Morning star, noon star, and evening star. I think there's an evening star. There's a north star, south star, east star, and west star. Or maybe apple blat. An apple. You won't even say the name. Now, why won't you guys say the name Jack? You guys won't even say the name Jack. Applejack, you won't even say it. Why won't you say it? Why won't you say the name Jack? Why are you guys, you can't say it for some reason? You won't say the name Jack. Um, you can have a Robo-Star, and Card Star. What is a Card Star? I don't know. You could have a Premium Rose Star, a Rose Star. That would be good. A Rose Star. It sounds like roaster. What was the other one I just said? Light Star, Morning Star, all need sunlight. Yeah. Yeah, sunlight. Well, I need a place to go to get, I need a place of my own so I can do things that I was used to doing. It's not happening here. Yeah, sunlight would be great. Sunlight always used to make me happy. The sun is a star, and that's something I always said. Our sun is a star. And I said, even if it's a planet or a ball of gas, I don't care what it is. It's a star, and it's beautiful, and it's pretty. Sunlight on your skin. Oh, I don't need sunlight on my skin. All I have to do is stay out of the sun, and then I don't need to have sunlight on my skin. I tell you what, though, when you stay out of the sun and you get down to that layer where you actually kind of like, I'm not, what is the word I'm looking for? You like peel that dead skin off. So when you get, then I'm a roasted chicken. I don't know what you mean by roasted chicken. Why do you need sunlight on your skin for what? I used to like to go swimming, but that's not something I can do. Roast yourself a little bit. I don't have a place to do that. I really don't. I don't have a place to do that. When I had my own place and I was living by myself, I did. And so you can even do dim star, like dim, because they said some of them, like the Beetlejuice, Doom Star. Doom. That's kind of funny. Doom Star. And there's all kinds of star flowers too. When you think about it, star earrings, star earrings is a kind of a blur word. Star rear, like rear is in between star earring. Sunlight or on your skin is necessary for your health. I agree with you, but I just don't have a place where I can go to actually get sunlight. I just don't. I don't have a place where I can go. I agree with you. That's not something I disagree with you. I like being out in the sun, but I mean, I don't like the place where I'm at, though, when it comes down to um, being outside. You know, I need to have a place of my own. So, yeah, moonlight. Yeah, that sun, the sun from the moonlight is just not as strong of, it's not as powerful of sunlight as the direct moonlight is. The direct sunlight. That's funny. They're showing these. That's funny. Oh, the TV has on the 5-star reviews now. That's funny. 5-star reviews on TV. They were showing these people on a commercial, and it's almost like it's a joke. They were showing the you know, when you laugh, it's contagious. Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, some of the things that I like my funny voice too. When I do my funny voice and people, you know, some of them have said, "Oh, you sound like a child." It's like, well,
What do you want me to sound like when I do a funny voice like this? It's supposed to sound silly, isn't it? It's supposed to sound silly. And, yeah. Especially when I'm saying that I'm married to a man named John. John is my husband. And he's a lousy husband. And he's a lousy lover. He can't get it up anymore. And he always is going to see Alice. He sees Alice every day. And he wonders why I don't like him no more. And he don't like me no more.
um encyclopedia. Um Someone actually sounds like that. Can you?
Yes, someone actually sounds like this. It's terrible. It's terrible that someone actually sounds like this. And yeah, that someone actually sounds like this and it's not artificial intelligence. And to think that it's married to someone named John and Jack. Jack John.
Moonstar. Um
And it's supposed to be an annoying voice. Don't you think? It's annoying. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 Elmo's World. Da, 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 Elmo's World. Da, 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 da.
Moonstar. Starshine. Starshine is a good one too. Just like earlier, I was thinking about when I made that. I think the only short I've done today was from this morning when I made the thing about the airplane. Maybe, I don't know, did I do another one? I think I've only done one. And I called it, what did I call it? The land port? There was something significant about the airplane that I did. Oh, I called it the flying bridge. I called the airplane the flying bridge is what I did. I don't know if that was gotten in that video, but you know, that's what I was symbolizing that an airplane is a flying bridge, which it is. Maybe I should call one of my videos Trump Star or Star Trump. How Star the Star Trumpet? The star trumpet. I wonder if that would... Saturn star. Oh, we're talking about the stellar... What's it called? The stellar system? The moon... Stellar... I can't remember what it's called now. They had a name for it with the James Webb Telescope. I think there are some weird stars out there, don't you think so? There's a lot of weird stars. I mean, our vice president, he's kind of taken on the role of being something weird, hasn't he? Um, 10 stars. Yeah, 10 stars. Stargates. Saturn stars. Betelgeuse stars. And banana stars. And cucumber stars. Oh, there's a star fruit too. Isn't there a star fruit? There is. When the stars go blue. The stars go blue is when they're dimming. That's what I always heard. When they go blue, they're dimming, and that means they're about ready to be a falling star. Yeah, Beetlejuice. Well, and the spelling too isn't it spelled like G-U or Giuce or something like that? Beetlejuice. So the Betelgeuse solar system, and yeah, it's a solar system. It sounds like Betelgeuse is actually headed towards our solar system, from what they said. And so Betelgeuse actually, at one time, could collide with the solar system of our universe. Now, what they said is that it's possible that it can gradually... I'm talking about the YouTuber or whatever he is. Oh, I didn't... That doesn't surprise... I had no idea that there was a YouTuber named Beetlejuice. That doesn't surprise me. I'm thinking everything that is in science and life and street names and businesses has been used by a YouTuber. Without a doubt. And the object for me, anyway, was to try to find a very, very popular name, a word, something that's very popular. And, yeah, now I know premium is one that's popular, and roses are popular too. And I was thinking that light and star is also popular. Oh, no, they're advertising poop in a box. They're advertising the poop in a box on TV. I can't believe that people actually still do that. The Cola Guard. It looks like Color Guard, but they call it Cola Guard. But it's where you poop in the box. Yeah, you're supposed to poop in the box for cancer. That's what it is. You're not going to poop in the box for cancer? I don't blame you. I'm not either. I think people should poop in the box and take it to church. Why am I NR1? What is NR1? What's NR1? 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 I don't know what NR1 is. I'm no one either. Oh, you guys are talking to each other. Oh, that pizza looks so good. Oh my gosh. YouTube keeps asking me if I've seen any advertisements for anything, and I tell them no. The only place I see advertisements is on TV. So cable TV has got all the advertisements right now. They've got everything. I have not seen any advertisements at all on YouTube. They're all on TV right now. They're all on cable. I totally love pizza with a passion. I love pizza with a passion. Now the thing is, I do get tired of it, but every once in a while, if I eat too much of it. But I love pizza. Thin crust is actually my favorite, but I will eat the thicker crust. And now the last time I ordered a pizza, though, it took them like 2 hours to bring it to me. Pepperoni would be good. I wouldn't mind pepperoni. I like ham and pineapple. I like the supreme pizzas that has like olives and mushrooms and onions and ham and pineapple. That is such a good flavor. I like the fettuccine. I like the spinach and fettuccine cheese. I like, oh my gosh, there was a place, Casey's. There was a convenience store named Casey's, and it had hamburger pizzas. And it was hamburger and mustard on the pizza, hamburger and mustard, and what else was on there? Hamburger and mustard and cheese and onions, and it was, oh my gosh, it was really good. If you just have a hamburger pizza and you put mustard on it, it is really good. The flavor is really good. And I'm trying to think of what else, other kind of pizza. There was where I used to live before I moved to where I'm at now. Will I eat the thick crust and you will like it? Oh, of course. Of course I'll eat the thick crust. Yes, I've ordered the thick crust because the price was right. I mean, it doesn't bother me to eat bread every once in a while. Yes, I've eaten the thick crust. I love it. The I miss eating uh good food though. I mean, I don't want to eat food I mean fast food all the time, but pizza? I love pizza. Um I've eaten stuff straight from the can, corn from a can, nothing wrong with that. Sweet peas from the can, they're really good. Get them at a reasonable price. There's times that I've actually eaten just a can of peas. A can of peas. Oh, listen to this blur word here. I need to write this down. Can of peas. A can of peas is a canopy. A canopy, you know how they call the canopy? It's kind of referenced with marijuana, but it's a canopy. You have a can of peas and you have a canopy of your trees. So you should I can't make homemade pizza. I don't have the means to make a homemade pizza because I don't have a place to live. Canopy and canopy. That's a good one. That's a good homophone. Okay, I better go. I've been on here a long time and I think I probably need to charge up my phone. But this was actually a good title. Using Trump as a good president. Where do you live now? I don't live any place. I'm just at a transient location. It's temporary. But it's not a real place to live. You know, it's a temporary location. A lot of people are in the temporary location because they don't have a place to live either. So it's not just me. There's a lot of people in the same situation. It's not just me. And, you know, it's because people can't get into places where they can afford to live. It's a big problem. So it's not a permanent solution. I haven't figured it out yet. And so I don't know what I'll do. I have no idea what I'll do. Um, but I need to head off of here now because I think I need to charge my phone. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, so I don't know what I'll do. There's no help for people like me.